Welcome back to Byte-Sized Tech. We're going to be diving deep into the world of AI today.
Sounds good.
And let me tell you, the future is looking seriously personalized.
Okay.
We've got some pretty fascinating sources
Yeah.
that suggest AI is about to become a lot less one-size-fits-all.
Right.
And a lot more like tailor-made for you.
Interesting.
Buckle up.
Okay.
Because things are about to get really interesting.
I'm excited.
One of the articles that you shared with me
Yeah.
really caught my eye.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about OpenAI's new reinforcement fine-tuning program, or RFT for short.
Right.
This tech basically lets you train an AI model to be an expert in your specific field.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
This is huge EE.
Yeah.
Like, we're moving from this idea of general-purpose AI to highly specialized AI experts.
Yeah, I have to admit, when I first saw reinforcement fine-tuning,
Uh-huh.
I thought, oh, technical jargon alert.
Sure.
But then I read on and it clicked.
Yeah.
This is like taking a basic AI model and turning it into a specialist.
Right.
You know, I'm thinking of it like teaching my old Honda Civic
Yeah.
to outperform a Ferrari, but only on a very specific racetrack.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It really captures what RFT is all about.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about just feeding the AI a ton of data and hoping it mimics the examples.
Right.
It's about teaching the model to actually think through problems in your specific domain.
Wow.
Learn from its mistakes.
So it's less about memorization
Yeah.
and more about developing actual understanding.
Exactly.
Wow.
And what's even cooler is that they're seeing some really impressive results
Oh, really?
already.
Like what?
There's this example in one of the articles about a computational biologist at Berkeley
Okay.
who used RFT to train a mini AI model to identify genes responsible for rare diseases.
Interesting.
And get this,
What?
it actually outperformed the full-sized model.
That a smaller, more specialized model
Yeah,
beat out the bigger, more general one.
exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah. It is. And the kicker is they used completely different genes for testing
Oh, wow.
than what the model was trained on.
Oh,
That means the model wasn't just parroting back what it had seen before.
interesting.
It was able to generalize and apply its knowledge to new situations.
Okay, this is starting to feel like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
So how does this actually work in practice?
Well,
Do I need to be a coding whiz to use this RFT thing?
not at all.
Okay.
OpenAI is providing the tools and the framework.
Okay.
You just need to bring your data and a way to score the AI's performance.
Got it.
It's still in alpha, so there's limited access right now,
Okay.
but the potential is huge.
So what you're saying is anyone could potentially have their own personalized AI expert,
Right.
whether they're a lawyer, a doctor, a financial analyst,
Yeah.
you name it.
Think about it.
Yeah.
A lawyer with an AI assistant that knows every case law relevant to their practice.
Right.
A doctor with AI that understands their hospital's specific procedures.
Oh my gosh.
The possibilities are mind-boggling.
This is seriously blowing my mind.
Yeah.
It's like the democratization of expertise,
Uh-huh.
taking highly specialized knowledge and making it accessible to anyone who needs it.
You hit the nail on the head.
Wow.
And the implications for different industries are massive.
Like what?
Well, for example, it could level the playing field for startups and small businesses,
Interesting.
allowing them to access the same level of AI-powered expertise as larger corporations.
That's incredible. But let's be real for a second.
Okay.
Training these AI models probably takes a ton of time and resources, right?
Yeah,
I mean, not everyone has access to mountains of data and powerful computers.
that's a valid point.
Yeah.
Training can definitely take some time.
Right.
And it's not necessarily a quick fix for every problem.
Right.
But that's where the idea of hybrid solutions comes in.
Okay.
Combining traditional tools and expertise with this customized AI power.
So instead of replacing human expertise altogether,
Yeah.
it's more about augmenting it.
Like having an AI co-pilot
Exactly.
that can handle the heavy lifting while you focus on the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot where human intuition and experience can work hand in hand with AI efficiency and knowledge to achieve something truly remarkable.
I'm starting to see the possibilities here,
Yeah,
and it's pretty exciting.
it is.
But I have to ask,
Go.
are there any downsides to all of this? I mean, could there be a risk of becoming too reliant on AI?
well,
Maybe even losing some of our own skills in the process?
that's a great question,
Yeah.
and one that deserves careful consideration.
Okay.
It's important to remember that AI is a tool,
Right.
and like Any tool, it can be used for good or bad
Right?
and can be overused.
Okay, so how do we ensure that we use AI responsibly and ethically without letting it completely take over?
Well, for starters, it's crucial to be aware of the potential biases
Oh, right.
that can be baked into AI models.
Because if the data used to train the AI is biased, then the AI's outputs will be biased too.
Right.
So it's important to carefully curate and evaluate the training data
Yeah.
to ensure it's as representative and unbiased as possible.
Okay.
And we also need to be mindful of the potential for AI to be used in ways that could harm or discriminate against certain groups of people.
It sounds like there's a lot to think about here,
Definitely.
both in terms of the exciting possibilities and the potential pitfalls.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As with any powerful technology, there's a responsibility to use it wisely and ethically.
Right.
But I truly believe that if we approach AI development and deployment with careful consideration and a focus on human well-being, it has the potential to transform our world for the better.
I like that optimistic outlook.
Yeah.
Speaking of transforming the world, one of the articles you sent mentioned something about robot rats that use AI to befriend real rats.
Lost.
What's that all about?
Yeah, that one definitely caught my attention too.
Real.
It seems researchers have developed these little robot rats that can interact with real rats in a socially intelligent way. They can even learn the rat's social cues and behaviors.
So it's like AI's learning to speak rat.
In a way, yes. It's fascinating to see how AI is being used to understand and even mimic animal behavior.
And to think all of this is happening at the same time as we're seeing the rise of AI-powered companions.
Right.
Like those lifelike robotic pets that are becoming increasingly popular.
It's true. And it makes you wonder, where is all of this heading? What happens when technology blurs the lines between real and artificial to the point where we can't tell the difference anymore?
That's a great question, and one that I think we'll be grappling with for years to come.
Absolutely. It really is a fascinating time to be following these advancements, isn't it? And it's not just about robots taking over the world.
Right.
Which, by the way, is a whole other conversation.
Right.
But seriously, when I think about how AI and robotics are evolving together, it paints a picture of a future where technology is seamlessly integrated into every aspect of our lives. It's both exciting and a little bit daunting.
I agree. It's important to remember that technology is a double-edged sword. It has the potential to solve some of the world's most pressing problems, but it can also create new challenges that we need to be prepared to address.
Like you mentioned earlier, the potential for bias in AI is a huge concern.
Yeah.
If we're not careful, these powerful technologies could end up perpetuating and even amplifying existing inequalities.
Exactly. That's why it's so crucial to have diverse voices and perspectives involved in the development and deployment of AI.
Right.
We need to make sure that these systems are designed and used in a way that benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
Absolutely. So how do we actually go about ensuring that AI is developed and used ethically? It seems like such a complex issue.
It is complex, but it's not insurmountable.
Right. One important step is to establish clear ethical guidelines and standards for AI development.
Okay.
There are already a number of organizations and initiatives working on this.
That's good to hear.
Which is encouraging.
So are these guidelines focusing mainly on things like data privacy and security? Or are they also looking at the broader societal impacts of AI?
It's both, actually.
Okay.
Data privacy and security are definitely crucial considerations.
Right.
But we also need to think about things like the potential for AI to displace jobs, exacerbate social divisions, and even undermine democratic processes.
It's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is.
But it sounds like there's a growing awareness of these issues.
And
a willingness to engage in these difficult conversations.
Definitely.
Which is a positive sign.
I agree. We're still in the early stages of figuring out how to navigate this new world of AI. But I'm optimistic that we can find ways to harness its power for good while mitigating the potential risks.
I share your optimism. And I think it's important to remember that we as individuals have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
Absolutely.
We need to stay informed.
Right.
Engage in these conversations and demand that these technologies are developed and used in a way that aligns with our values.
Well said. It's easy to get caught up in the hype and the fear surrounding AI. But at the end of the day, it's a tool that we can choose to use for good or for bad. The choice is ours.
That's a powerful reminder. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the serious side of AI. But let's shift gears for a moment and have some fun. Remember that article about the robot rat that befriends real rats?
Oh, yeah. That was a fascinating one. It's amazing to think that we're now creating robots that can not only interact with animals, but actually learn and adapt to their social cues.
I know, it's mind-blowing. And it makes me wonder what other kinds of surprising applications are out there for AI and robotics.
Well, one area that's really starting to take off is the use of AI in creative fields like art and music.
Really?
There are now AI systems that can compose original music, paint stunning works of art, and even write poetry.
Wait, really? I have to admit, I'm a bit skeptical about AI being truly creative. It seems like creativity is such a uniquely human trait.
I understand your skepticism, but I think you'd be surprised by what these AI systems are capable of. They're not just copying existing works of art.
Right.
They're actually generating new and original ideas. Of course, there's a lot of debate about whether this can truly be considered creativity, but it's certainly pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
That's fascinating. So does this mean that artists and musicians are going to be replaced by robots?
I don't think so. I see AI as more of a tool that can augment human creativity, not replace it. It can help artists and musicians explore new ideas, experiment with different styles, and create works that would have been impossible to achieve on their own.
That makes sense. It's like having an AI collaborator pushing you to think outside the box and expand your creative horizons.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe one day we'll see human AI collaborations winning prestigious art awards or topping the music charts.
That would be something. Okay, so we've talked about AI in science, in business, in ethics, and even in art. Is there any area of human life that AI isn't touching these days?
It seems like AI is everywhere, but one area where I think we'll see even more significant advancements in the coming years is healthcare.
Oh, absolutely. There's so much potential for AI to revolutionize healthcare, from diagnosing diseases to developing new treatments to personalizing patient care.
I agree. Imagine a world where AI can analyze your medical history, genetic data, and lifestyle factors to predict your risk of developing certain diseases and recommend preventative measures tailored specifically to you.
That would be incredible. It's like having a personalized health advisor guiding you towards a healthier and longer life.
Exactly. And that's just scratching the surface. AI is also being used to develop new drugs and therapies, assist surgeons in the operating room, and even provide companionship and support to elderly patients.
It sounds like AI has the potential to transform healthcare in ways we can barely imagine. But with all these advancements, it's crucial to ensure that ethical considerations remain front and center.
You're absolutely right. We need to make sure that AI is used in healthcare in a way that benefits all patients, regardless of their background or socioeconomic status. And we need to be mindful of issues like data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the potential for AI to exacerbate existing health disparities.
It's a lot to consider, but I'm hopeful that we can find ways to harness the power of AI for good in healthcare while addressing these important ethical challenges.
I share your hope, and I think it's important to remember that ultimately the goal of AI in healthcare is to improve human health and well-being. That should always be our guiding principle.
Well said. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today, from the technical intricacies of reinforcement fine-tuning to the ethical implications of AI in healthcare. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we wrap things up?
I think we've had a pretty comprehensive discussion, but one thing I'd like to emphasize is that the future of AI is not predetermined.
Okay.
It's something that we are actively shaping through our choices and actions.
That's a really important point. It's easy to feel like technology is this unstoppable force that's dictating our future.
Right.
But we actually have a lot of agency in determining how AI is developed and used.
Exactly. It's up to all of us to engage in these conversations, ask critical questions, and advocate for the responsible and ethical use of AI. The future is in our hands.
I couldn't agree more. Well, folks, it looks like we're just about out of time. But before we go, I wanted to share a quick anecdote that really highlights the incredible speed at which AI is advancing.
Ooh, I love a good anecdote. Tell me more.
So just the other day, I was chatting with my friend who's a software engineer.
Okay.
And he was telling me about this new AI coding tool he's been using. And it's crazy. He can basically describe what he wants the code to do.
Right.
In plain English. And the AI just writes the code for him.
Wow, that's incredible. It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
I know, right? It's like those scenes where people just talk to computers.
Right.
And they do whatever they're told, except this is actually happening now.
It really highlights how quickly AI is evolving and how it's starting to blur the lines between science fiction and reality.
It's both exciting and a little bit unsettling, to be honest. But hey, that's progress, right?
I suppose so. But it's important to remember that progress doesn't always mean better.
Right.
We need to be thoughtful about how we develop and deploy these technologies to ensure they're used for good and not for harm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like we were saying earlier, we need to be having these conversations about the ethical implications of AI now before it's too late.
Exactly. We need to be thinking about things like bias, transparency, accountability, and the potential impact on jobs and society as a whole.
It's a lot to consider, but I'm hopeful that we can rise to the challenge.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think these conversations are fascinating.
Me too.
It's like we're on the cusp of a new era, and we're all trying to figure out what it means for humanity.
I agree. It's a privilege to be living in such a transformative time and to be able to witness firsthand the incredible innovations that are shaping our world.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
Okay.
I've really enjoyed our conversation today. It's always a pleasure to chat with someone who's as passionate about technology as I am.
Likewise. Thanks for joining me on this bite-sized adventure into the world of AI.
Anytime. And to all of you listening out there, thanks for tuning in to Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed the episode, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions. And until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay techie.